Hi, I'm Stacy Winship, the Regional Director for the San Francisco Bay Area with Mynd Property Management. Today we're going to talk about best practices for when your resident doesn't pay rent. But before that, we're going to set you up for success. Always have a lease agreement in writing stating what the rent is, when it's due, what the grace period is, any late fees, and where the resident should pay rent to. I highly suggest using electronic payments. This way you can track payments live time and you'll never hear the checks in the mail again. Also, know your local ordinances and your state laws. The steps between when rent is due and throughout the eviction process can be really complex. Should the resident be delinquent past the grace period, there's a few things you can do. But first, I recommend swift communication. Reach out via phone, text, email, and try to get a hold of the resident to see where the payment is. Potentially, it's in the mail or they initiated the payment that morning. You can elect to hold off a couple of days and try to maintain a better relationship with that resident, or you can file a legal demand for rent. The choice is yours, but know it should be constantly part of your collection process. Note that when I refer to a legal demand notice, I mean the document that's going to be served upon the resident to start the eviction process. In some states, it could be called a 3 or 5 day pay rent or quit notice, but it varies state by state, so always know what documents you need to serve in order to start that process. The creation and delivery of that legal demand notice is one of the most critical steps in the entire process. So you have to know your local and state requirements on how to serve and create those notices. Once it's created and served upon the resident, if they still don't pay within that time period, you have a couple of options. When choosing your option, market matters. Knowing your jurisdiction and whether or not that process is going to be swift and speedy versus those jurisdictions where it might be a 2 to 4 month wait before you get a court date is really important. In jurisdictions that have a long wait time or maybe enforce mediation before the court date, you have different options. One is a payment plan. You can come to an agreement with the resident to get caught up on their rent, but always make sure that that payment plan or settlement agreement is in writing and executed signatures are in place for both parties. Knowing the legal complexities or simplicities within your jurisdiction will help you make the best decisions. For example, in a jurisdiction that has that 2 to 4 month wait or maybe has really high filing fees, you might want to settle differently than you do in, say, a state that has a 2 to 4 week wait in order to get a court date. In extreme circumstances, you can take that 2 to 4 months of lost rent plus, say, $8,000 in attorney's fees and make better decisions. For example, you can go to the resident and gain possession of the unit back within the week if, say, you forgive some or all of the past due rent. No matter where your property is, the rental collection process can be one of the most legally complex. So you have to be an expert. If you're not an expert, consult with an attorney and ensure that you're participating in your local apartment association. If you'd like to learn more about the successes Mynd's had with rent collections, lease termination agreements, and evictions, please contact us.